But the point is, you know, when I was younger, I was visceral. I was like an animal. Everything was sensual. Everything was, you know, and I have worked, you know, someone annoyed me, I could slap them. You know, if I was angry, I'd scream. Everything was emotional and on the surface with emotion. And the same with relationships and sex and everything. It was all like, just like being an animal. And all my life, I worked constantly hard not to be that animal. And being an artist and believing in the things that I do is the complete antithesis to being an animal. I have a conscience that I use constantly in my everyday life with my work. I'll keep asking questions though.
Do you find or have you found throughout your career, your relationships with the opposite sex to be a distraction or an inspiration to your art?
I think did you say my
your relationships with the opposite sex a distraction or an inspiration to your art in general?
I think my relationship to sex, full stop, is a distraction. Full stop. It's got nothing to do with the opposite sex, same sex or anything. I just think sex, full stop. Just honestly, like when I was younger, I just, you know, if I wanted to fuck someone, I'd just go and do it. I had that, I'm talking about really young now, 13, 14, 15. I was in the room, like this person, go and have sex with them. That's what I was like. And if I get on that track now, I promise you, I wouldn't do any work. I wouldn't be here doing a talk. I would be in bed.
But it has seemed a lot of your artwork just seemed to be inspired from that source.
But it's not, is it? Because I'm making work. I'm in my studio making work. I'm not fucking anyone. I'm not that distracted, am I? I made a painting once of being fucked up the arse, and it's just this really sort of simple linear painting. And I said, in truth, I'd much rather be, in truth, I'd much rather not be painting, you know? But I am painting. I'm in the studio working. And I think I've had 3 really fantastic relationships in my life. 3 really amazing ones. Full relationships, and I wish in a way that I could have married these 3 people and said these 3 people, because in a way I did marry them. They're still really good friends to me. They still really support me. They know me inside out, upside down, back to front. I trust them, and they were fantastic relationships in lots of ways. But on the whole, it's not my strong point. I have the most wonderful friends. I have the most wonderful lifestyle with all my friends and everything, but I just couldn't imagine being in a relationship and saying, oh, I have been in a relationship where I just didn't go home, you know, because I was at the studio painting. You can do this 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights. You do it for 4 years, that person gets a bit bored. You say, I'm getting on a plane, I'm going off to do another show, I'm going here, I'm doing that, bliss. You know, I had one partner who said, it was really good. He said it didn't matter what problem he had, my problem was always more important. And it's true, because that's what I deal with, that's what I work with. And I also think that I could never censor myself, ever, in any way. I couldn't, otherwise I wouldn't be able to make the work that I do. But if I met the right person and it was balanced and good, then it would be possible. But for the last 15 years, it hasn't been possible. I lived alone for 15 years. I think that's quite, apart from Docket, I think that's quite a long time. I haven't had any kind of sex for 5 years. And then last time that wasn't penetrative. It wasn't what, you know, I didn't see the person again. It isn't what drives me. It isn't all the things we're talking about, all the work you see. Everyone always relates because the bed looks dirty and grungy or this or that, or because I swear or whatever it is. That isn't what drives me. You know, faith, love, God, spirituality, all of those things first is what drives me. You know, and this week I went to see Rachel White-Reid's show at Tate and the queer art show at Tate Britain. And Rachel's show, by the way, is fantastic. If any of you haven't seen it, go and see it. It was like amazing. And there's a project room at Tate where you can go in and there's all like bits of paper and feltic pens and paint, and you can paint on the wall, and it's about gender and identity. And I just picked up this big black magic marker, and then I did this drawing of this sort of cat woman, and I said, and I just wrote, I'm not an animal, you can't fuck me. And then I just walked out again, but it was kind of life-size drawing. And I actually signed it, Tracey Emin, 2017. And I was kind of quite shocked myself. But, you know, I think when I was... and my friends went to Tate today, and some kid has put some green sticky tape all over it and drawn something else quite interesting or whatever, I don't know. But it's really funny. I think Tate were quite shocked by that. I don't think they even know, actually, but I heard anyway. But the point is, you know, when I was younger, I was visceral. I was like an animal. Everything was sensual. Everything was, you know, and I have worked, you know, someone annoyed me, I could slap them. You know, if I was angry, I'd scream. Everything was emotional and on the surface with emotion. And the same with relationships and sex and everything. It was all like, just like being an animal. And all my life, I worked constantly hard not to be that animal. And being an artist and believing in the things that I do is the complete antithesis to being an animal. I have a conscience that I use constantly in my everyday life with my work. There you are.
Good. More questions?
Can I just have the last word? I think people might have heard me say this before. The difference between men and women, and the difference between male artists and female artists is men just have one big, massive ejaculation within their career, and women just keep coming again and again and again.